Do you want to? I mean, we should have some kind of like intro, right? I've never done one of these. I've
Yeah,
never done. Yeah, like
I mean
I.
when I do it, I just kind of say, "Hey, welcome to the name of show,"
Uh-huh.
and then we give a very brief, like one sentence explanation of what the show is.
Right. But I always feel like it's very like there's a comforting rhythm to it.
Sure, but you got to find it naturally.
Right. Okay. So you and Andrew don't spend like 3 hours in the writer's room pounding
No,
out.
no, we don't.
Okay.
Do you want me to just bring us in for this first one, and then we'll kind of find our footing as we go?
I mean, you don't have to, but
I
you
can.
are the professional.
The professional. Well, now I feel on the spot.
Okay, do you want me to do it?
No. Are you ready?
I'm really ready. Emily, I can't tell you how ready I am.
All right, this is episode 1 of the Big Match Minute. I'm Emily Schmemily.
And I'm Lilith.
And today I've already screwed up so much. I'll see you later. Podcast's over.
Okay, yeah,
It's
podcast's
done.
over. Goodbye.
No more podcast.
Nope.
No, what we're going to do here today is we are going to break down what we find to be historic or especially important or interesting wrestling matches.
Yeah.
In a minute-by-minute format. We are starting with the Firefly Funhouse match. Fun. Did I say
it's
fun?
really fun to say. You said the Firefly fun. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh wow. Okay.
The Firefly Funhouse match.
Thank you.
At WrestleMania 36.
36.
And I think like it's important to talk about that. Like we're not going to be doing like because we kind of came up with this idea for the two like big cinematic matches that were at WrestleMania 36 this year.
Mm-hmm.
This and then the Boneyard match, of course,
which is that is fun to say.
It's
Match.
really fun to say. Yeah, but I think it's important. These are our two starting points. They're not necessarily going to be the last ones that we do.
No.
We're also not going to be just like looking for, churning through. We're just gonna kind of, this is gonna be a podcast that comes and goes. I guess
we do it when we feel the need.
Yeah. And I guess it's important to say that like, we're not going to be doing it for just, any old 5-star match. Cause I love a lot of wrestling matches,
Sure.
But it's not every wrestling match that is worthy of this treatment.
Correct.
Specifically because like, it'd be kind of boring for the two of us to like minute by minute just break down like and then he busted 5 light tubes over his face. And then you're just like, yeah, and I thought it was gross. I got a little sick while watching it. And then that's the end of the podcast.
I don't know that I enjoy that characterization of me as someone who is grossed out by light tubes.
I mean, I would say grossed out. When I made overtures about like, I might want to try out hardcore wrestling, you did
Yeah, here's the thing though. I did worry for you, but you love light tubes so much that you seem to take you seem to think that light tubes are the end all be all of hardcore wrestling. I don't think light tubes are actually that scary, and that's not what I was concerned about. It's all the other shit that they do.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. And also light tubes are not, it's not like they're not dangerous. Anyway,
yeah. You're just trying to make me out to be some kind of little baby. You're trying to establish me as the little baby of the show.
I'm trying to establish dominance, yes, early on in the show.
You're with a more established movies by minute podcaster.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, I get it.
Yeah. I'm really, I'm feeling insecure about my place in the podcast.
Well, wait till we have an actual play podcast, and then I'll put your character through the ringer.
Oh God, dangerous. Anyway,
you're just trying to make me out to be some kind of little baby.
You're
trying to establish me as the little baby of the show.
I'm trying to establish dominance. Yes, early on in the show.
You're with a more established movies by minute podcaster, and you're trying to, I get it.
Yeah. I'm really, I'm feeling insecure about my place in the podcast.
Well, wait till we have an actual play podcast, and then I'll put your character through the ringer.
Oh God. Oh Lord. And we made the decision, not only to include the pre-match video package that kind of catches you up on, the story so far, but you made the decision, and I want to put
That's correct. I'll take full responsibility.
Yeah, the yoke of this decision on your shoulders.
I love a good yoke.
I've known that about you for a long time. To break down the video package minute by minute, I had the idea of let's just do one episode dedicated to the video package, and then we can do the match minute by minute. But you really wanted to just everything minute by minute, which I guess speaks to your, you're a more seasoned veteran, and you've got, you're old school.
The devil's in the details, Lilith, and the bread and butter of a minute by minute podcast is getting down to the finest detail, and that's what we're here to do today. So let's talk about minute 1 of the Firefly. Fuck off! That's so hard to say. Minute 1 of the Firefly Funhouse match.
Yes.
This minute entirely is just the video package before. It's not even the whole video package, as we mentioned.
It's a quarter of the video package.
This is we're in the John Cena segment of this package.
We're actually watching a segment of just a short clip of he came back. He returned to SmackDown on February 28th. After an extended absence, mostly to act in movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
WrestleMania is about a month away at this point. And you can see on the screen behind him, Elimination Chamber is that weekend or something. And he wanted to let the audience know what are his WrestleMania plans.
Yes.
And he says he's doing the right thing for young talent.
Famously, a criticism of John Cena is that he doesn't put over young talent,
which is something that I feel like he has been actively addressing over the last few years through a kind of Cena's always going to be the baby face of the feud, but he takes on a sort of heelish part of a feud by saying everybody says I'm just burying new talent and everything like that, but I'm just better. Yeah. If you get put up or shut up. He did that with Roman a couple years back, and that kind of seems to be his MO these last few years, is to kind of address that and subvert it.
Yeah.
Which it's interesting because this match, we both watched this match live.
That's correct.
With a number of our friends.
What number?
What?
How many friends? What number?
Not
offer vagaries to our audience. They deserve better.
Exactly 4.20 friends.
Okay. Am I the 0.20?
Yeah, you are.
Fair.
I think actually between us we were the 0.20, and we watched it with 4 other friends.
Yeah.
Which is actually inaccurate because we were both drunk at the time.
Yep.
Yeah. And, I don't want to skip ahead too much, but this match is about the history of John Cena. It's about the history of John Cena and Bray Wyatt.
Yes. Their history as individuals and together, I would say.
Absolutely.
But we're not really going to get into Bray Wyatt today.
Not quite yet. Which is a bummer because I love talking about Bray Wyatt. But
we'll get there. Settle down.
Okay. All right. I also love talking about John Cena. So, and so, one of the interesting things that we kind of get, kind of going back to that history, is we like, as he's saying all this thing, we get like a cut through of some of Cena's best, some highlights of John Cena's WrestleMania performances.
Yeah.
And we got like, all the way back to, I think I don't believe it was his first world title win, but it was his first world title match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Against JBL,
Mm-hmm.
which I found very interesting. We also got a clip of him putting the STF on Rusev at WrestleMania 32, which I think people talk about that as like one of his most egregious burials.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, Rusev was on, massive winning streak. He was just dominating the roster. He came out to WrestleMania in a tank, which you were there for.
I was there for. That's correct.
Very upset about.
I was at Levi Stadium at that very moment.
It's literally like one of my favorite WrestleManias, and like up and down the card.
Should you not be happy for your friend Emily who got to see it live then?
Yeah, but I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
I wish you could have been, Lily. Nothing would have made me happier than if you had been there.
Yeah. So yeah, that was, he put the brakes on Rusev, and Rusev really like has pretty much been in a free fall since then.
Yeah.
As a character. League of Nations was shortly after that, which really sucked for him.
He got cucked.
He has been cucked in 2 separate storylines.
That sucks.
Later that year, he was cucked by Dolph Ziggler, and then last year he was cucked by Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Which is starting to make me think that maybe like he's...
What's up? Where are you going with this, Lily? Where's the sentence gonna go?
Well, he's actually said in interviews that he had a pretty decent hand in this cucking storyline.
You're suggesting this might be an interest of his.
I don't know. I don't know, Emily. I don't want to besmirch the man, but it's not. It's whatever. The guy.
Listen, everybody has their thing that they're into. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. By all, I feel fairly certain that he's still a happily married man at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, his wife is in storyline. I think married to Bobby Lashley. There was a wedding. I don't remember if it like concluded properly because both Liv Morgan and Rusev crashed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting way off topic right now.
You want to hear a fun fact about Liv Morgan for me?
I would love to hear a fun fact about Liv Morgan.
When I was going to indie wrestling shows a lot, there was a wrestler by the name of James Morgan, whose nickname was James Morgan the Big Organ, about his penis.
Yeah.
But now because I saw him at so many different little indie shows, that's just like burned into my brain. So now every time I hear Liv Morgan, my brain automatically fills in the Big Organ.
That sounds right, like for you. Now, one other wrestler who, here, give me a second because I don't. Okay, yeah, no, he just gives him an attitude adjustment. Eric Rowan.
Yeah, that was interesting to see in the little montage there.
Who was at the time a member of the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family are really kind of spread out at all ends of the earth at this point.
Scattered to the wind, as they say.
Yeah. Harper is in AEW as Brody Lee.
Yeah.
Which, God bless him. I'm glad he's happy. Braun Strowman has he actually just won the Universal title off of Goldberg
at this very same event.
Different night.
True. It all blends together,
It was a WrestleMania too big for one night.
Yep.
According to local regulations.
If WrestleMania was James Morgan's genitals, then
you would have to take that over 2 nights.
One night is WrestleMania is to James Morgan's genitals, as one night is to a normal pair of spandex tights.
Okay, yeah. I kind of followed that.
There you go. Last I heard, he quit wrestling to be a nurse full time,
Well, that's hey.
which is what he was doing on the side while he was a wrestler.
If he is currently a nurse, I feel like he's probably fighting the good fight right now.
That's true.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I hope he's putting the good organ to use. Not in nursing.
Not in nursing, no, just like, giving
Hey.
him the confidence he needs to
Yeah.
effectively be a nurse.
Uh,
Where were we in this actual minute?
we were kind of going through all of John Cena's, his conquests. We did also see the Miz, for really just a couple frames. I'm kind of going frame by frame right now.
Yeah.
Shake hands with The Rock.
Yeah, I noticed there was the Rock there was a couple moments of sort of it seemed like intentional side by siding, if I can say that. Right after he shakes hands with The Rock, or not right after, but a couple seconds after, he says, "I know my role." Of course, The Rock catchphrase for a time was "Know your role and shut your mouth." There was also early in the minute, I noticed there was like they did back to back. They showed a kid with a Cena sign who had a mohawk, and then a kid with a Cena sign who had a unicorn horn on his head. So sort of similar aesthetics there. A lot of mirrored images, I would say. It's a slick package they put together.
I have to say that the video package editors, I think, are some of the unsung heroes, which I call them unsung heroes. I feel like there have been smarter people than I who have said nice things about them.
Yeah.
But I've been a fan of theirs for quite some time. I famously get mad when my friends talk through the video packages.
Listen, when you're friends and you're hanging out and you're watching wrestling, you're having a good time. You're gonna talk a little.
And I'm okay with that. And I try to be as okay with that as I can. But
the listener maybe can figure out which of us does which thing when this show's on.
It's not even just you. It's the rest of our friends that are the only people listening to this podcast.
I'm sure some others will.
So the last line of the minute. This year, John Cena is going to do the right thing. He believes that WrestleMania should go on without him. And then they immediately cut to a distressed child.
Yeah.
And that is the end of the minute.
Yeah. John Cena, very hollow eyes in this moment. They look very sunken. I'm wondering if he maybe intentionally stayed up all night the night before to sort of make himself look more old and haggard than he usually does,
Yeah. I mean, he's
getting up there.
It's interesting because he's definitely making overtures like he's going to walk away from wrestling, and I think that's going to be more of a kind of the Rock style thing where he's just getting into acting, and he's not really, because he's not retirement age at all.
No.
And he can still go.
Yeah.
I assume he can. I've seen some good matches of his. He's
not retirement age, but he's at that age where you're maybe not going to be in there every week, And
oh, absolutely. I don't think we're ever going to be seeing a full-time John Cena again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's in that phase where he's oh
yeah,
he'll be around, just not as much.
Emily, anything? I don't know. I feel like we've reached the end of the minute.
Yeah. I will say that another thing I noticed about this minute is it very specifically, and this will continue throughout the package, shows John Cena from a lot of different eras, which is sort of foreshadowing the content of the match.
Oh yeah.
Which is, literally what the video package is for, but
Yeah,
it's effective.
It does. I think a really fantastic job of that. Because like I said, we really can't understate enough how much this match is is literally it's not subtle the way a lot of wrestling matches, because this is not really that much of a wrestling match.
No, honestly, no, it's not.
It's not. And so, you know, they have a lot of time to just like really throw imagery in your face that's like making direct you know, lines through history. They also showed it was interesting because I'm pretty sure it wasn't the actual old John Cena Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick. I'm pretty sure they showed a clip of him doing the Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick at last year's WrestleMania. Where he showed up and beat up Elias and then walked away, but he was the Doctor of Thugonomics for that.
Yeah, that's weird that happened.
Because that was like hour 6 into an 8-hour WrestleMania.
Sure.
I had a few friends over. All of them, I believe, didn't watch wrestling.
It's a fun crowd.
Yeah.
To be 6 hours into WrestleMania with.
Right. And then I also had there was a girl who I was seeing at the time who was over at the time. And we had hung out maybe 5 or 6 times at this point. And again, like the pizza had just gotten there, and then John Cena comes out and he's rapping and he's dressed as the Doctor of Thugonomics. And I'm freaking out because it's completely weird for me, and nobody else, like everybody can understand it's fucking weird as hell, but does not really put together what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrestling's fucking weird.
Wrestling is weird.
WWE specifically is weird, and we're at like, I think it is also worth mentioning the kind of moment in human and wrestling history that this match is taking place in. I actually don't think that this match would have been all that different had it been at regular WrestleMania. Maybe they wouldn't have pulled the trigger on this big crazy gimmick that they did.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it being a empty arena show like helped give Bray Wyatt the juice to be like, hey, let's do this weird thing instead.
Right. Like John Cena was already sowing the seeds for what this feud was. He was saying, you know, it's not right for me to be at WrestleMania.
You sow thread.
Young talent is who we should be prioritizing. And this was February 28th.
Yeah.
So, you know, not really when anybody was planning an empty arena.
Sure, but I mean, they could have still just been planning like a more conventional match between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Or the
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Do we want to do plugs at the end of this?
I mean, that feels traditional.
Sure.
It feels like the right thing to do.
All right. Hey, just go to twitter.com/verycoolemily. You can there. You'll find links to all my other stuff there.
Yeah. Emily makes a couple of several really good podcasts.
Thanks.
That you should listen to, like the Dunstan Checks Men podcast and Go Go Godzilla, and the R.I.P. Super Mario Bros. Minute.
Yeah, those are the days.
Those were the days, I tell you. I actually didn't really know you during those days.
We a little bit towards the tail end, but yeah,
very end, very very tail end. Was when we kind of started being friends. I make a show called Ghost Puncher Core. Emily edits it, and the editing's the best part about it.
That's not true. Categorically untrue.
You can find Ghost Puncher Core at ghostpuncher.net/corps, and you can find me at twitter.com/deathcarpets.
Check us out next time when we'll be covering minute 2 of the Fuck, I said it wrong again.
Of the
Fuck
House.
Fuck House. Yeah, sure.